When I first started doing these mood boards, the point was to say, hey, just because you're buying my coastal artwork doesn't mean that it has to go into a coastal room. So I would create these rooms that were untraditionally coastal. They were sort of like modern and whatever. You can look at the old mood boards that I've created. But the point was to show that just because something is a particular style doesn't mean that you have to stay within those parameters. I wanted to encourage people to be unique and do something different, because that's what art is all about. That's what decorating is all about. That's what your personal style is all about. You should feel excited to do something that really speaks to you and something that you don't necessarily find in a magazine. And now a PSA for my fellow artists and creatives. This is for you, so listen up. Creating these mood boards is more of just like a fun experimental exercise for me. I like to see where I end up because I truly have no idea. And if you're an artist watching this, listening to this, I would encourage you to do the same thing, not only to help your buyers understand how the piece can be styled in a room, it's also a really cool creative exercise for yourself. If you're anything like me, maybe you've been in a creative rut for like 3 years and you can't pick up the paintbrush, you cannot open another sketchbook, but you can play around with like a pretend room and pretend stuff and a pretend budget. And if you like to do stuff like this, it's kind of a great way to spend like 45 minutes. And I think it gives people an insight into maybe what your personal style is, and it just gives them an idea of how to use your artwork. Let's say you create a mood board that you end up really liking. Great, post it, show it to the world. Like I said before, it gives your buyers an insight into your own personal style, which is an incredible window for them because they're not usually just buying the artwork. They're usually buying like a piece of you. If you're out at markets or if you're on social media ever, someone likes to buy your things because they've connected with you in some way. Most people buy out of an emotional response to something, whether they realize it or not. So if they can get just a little window into like your personality or who you are or what you're about, they're like gonna be 10 times more likely to continue to come back and buy something from you again. So not only is it great for your buyers and then therefore your business, but it's so great for you as a creative person. And you know, if you are in a rut, maybe this is the thing that gets you out of the rut. Maybe this is the thing that inspires you. It's hard when you're an artist and you have a full-time business or a part-time business. It's hard to remind yourself to create for yourself. It's the only thing that's going to keep you alive and keep your business alive. And just a reminder to you and to myself that whatever you create, if you're creating something, it doesn't mean that you have to share it with people. Again, you can just create for yourself. You can create something that's completely off-brand. You can create something that you've never created before in your life. And don't post it. Don't share it with anyone. Who knows what you might create? Who knows what might come out of these like weird shit art sessions? And who cares? It's totally up to you, but it might be your next genius idea. I had this same conversation with one of my artist friends a couple months ago about this idea of an adjacent project, whether that's, creating mood boards, or if it's trying a new medium, or if it's completely doing something different like sculpting, or I don't know, decorating, because that's also art. The point is, as a creative person, you gotta put yourself out of your boundaries sometimes, out of your comfort zone. And that is the only way you're gonna grow. And that's honestly the only way you're gonna get out of a rut. There have been several times where I've been in a creative rut. And I remember one time specifically, I was on a car ride and I was driving back home. I had like 3 more hours to go, and I put on a podcast, and it was Tim Ferriss interviewing Elizabeth Gilbert about her book, City of Girls. And I remember listening to that podcast like pretty much in tears because I was so moved and so excited listening to the process that Elizabeth Gilbert went through to create this book. All of the research she did and everything that she learned was so interesting. And I remember getting home that night and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to create. So, whatever it is, just do it. Like whatever you're feeling, completely just dive in and follow that feeling. Anyways, that's all for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for listening to me on my little soapbox about how important it is to keep your creative soul alive. I am here to support you doing that, and it's all just a really beautiful process. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like content like this, let me know. I've never really done a rant like this before. Or if you hate this, let me know. Either way, it helps. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.